Okay, welcome back, everyone. Welcome to our next session, Healing and Growing with Sex Toys, led by therapist Helen Hagemeier and our interactive guest, Kokeshi.
Hello.
Many people are seeking a healthier sex life and partnership, but don't know how. We often may feel like losing control of our sex life, partnerships, or basic life. How can we overcome this crisis with the use of our sex toys?
So now, Tisha, we shall move to the next session.
Okay, Kokeshi, thank you.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Healing and Growing with Sex Toys. My name is Helen Hagemeier. As you heard before, I'm a couple and sex therapist and therapist for psychiatry and psychosomatics. I'm also doing hypnosis. I'm running an institute and I'm giving workshops, very diverse workshops. I'm also doing private parties and I'm doing some events for sexual wellness. And maybe you have seen me on one event or festival. So, today we are facing a really, really huge topic. I didn't know how to start with healing and growing because where did our healing process actually went wrong, right? Where did we start to develop difficult things into our well-being? When did we start to bring uncomfortable feelings into our system? So let's think back into our past. And as this is a workshop, I want to remind you that you are here for a reason, I guess. So what is your personal invitation to enter this workshop? How do you feel invited to think about healing for yourself? So let's start in the past. If you're thinking back into your childhood, you maybe remember this like super playful time. Everything was just easy. At a certain age, we say about 4, parents start to give us rules and they start to put us down for things. So we learn to feel shame. At an age around 4, we are more aware of shame. Before, it's just a certain uncomfortable situation where we are just in. But around the age of 4, we understand I'm wrong, or I'm not good, or I'm doing things that make people feel less proud of myself. How sad is that, right? At such a young age. And it's that age where we start to play with other people and we play with other children. And somehow we think, is this my friend? Or is this an enemy? Can I trust this person? Can I trust myself? Am I doing something wrong? Am I doing it right? So the tragic about this like young age that we are going through in school is that school brings us into this new atmosphere where it's not about our feelings, it's not about our needs, it's about thinking, it's about checking into new knowledge that we never heard before and just being in our minds. Very tricky to go through this transformative phase where we are, first of all, feeling all of these uncomfortable feelings for the first time. And then it's not about being playful anymore. It's about getting things right. It's about getting a number of, or in some countries, or a letter of how good you are. So maybe you're going to receive some examples of your work in school and they are going to be bad. They are not going to be good. And this is, of course, giving us a certain mental state and attitude for our life. So ask yourself, how was your time in school? And ask yourself, how was your journey during these years? Let's say till 16. And now the other tragic begins. And of course, it's not all about tragic, but then our hormones are beginning to go wild and crazy. So then after this, we have to face so many new experiences now in our body. That is a huge change, right? Like first get all of these informations into your brain and now, shit, what does my body say and what does my brain say and how can I put it together? So if you think about all of these times that you went through your self-awareness, then it can be that you feel a certain way of, shame, anxiety, fear, or, whatever it is that makes you feel uncomfortable in certain moments. You probably know that those things exist in your life. And now another thing is happening. Maybe your inner sunny child had like super nice times during your childhood. Maybe everything was perfect till the age of 16, 17, 18, 20. But now another thing happened, and that is not your failure. It's the failure of society and the past. No one tells us how to have a sexual life. We are alone in this super important topic. And because we are not well educated enough in school, we are not well educated enough by our parents or the people who take care of ourselves, we go into intimate moments and we are totally lost. We have images and ideas of how sexuality maybe looks like, but the first experiences may be traumatic or just really, really, really uncomfortable. So if you ask me, when is healing actually important? It starts right there, parenthood, young age. We have to educate our kids and ourselves better to give the most, best education of consent, understanding of needs, and all of these like beautiful things that make us comfortable, that make us proud of ourselves, that make us believe that we are living in this body and this body is amazing, no matter what you think, no matter what your sexual orientation is, you're good, you know? So before I wrote down this workshop, I was like, yeah, we're just going to start with like healing. Like, what is healing? What does healing mean? But now I understood, no, I have to tell you this story so that you understand we are all in the same boat. If your parent is not a sex therapist, and also that can bring a lot of problems, like, trust me, you maybe experience the same. I experienced the same. I had to go through these struggles. So the reason why I'm doing this job is because I saw these problems. And now I want to give you the chance to check in with yourself and to understand yourself better. So, so what we just heard, or what we talked about, or what I talked about with you guys, is that we have this like outer system. The outer system are the people that are surrounding us, the things that we are doing, hobbies, groups of people, parents, people who take care of us, all of the other people that we are meeting outside of my world. So we have an outer system and we have our inner system. And it's very important to understand that we have a relationship into our inner system and we have different types of relationships to other systems. So ask yourself, how good is your relationship to your inner system? What is actually happening within yourself when you are thinking about intimacy? A lot of people are facing fears right away when they are thinking about intimacy. A lot of my clients are saying things like, I don't know how to be intimate with my partner because I don't know how to be intimate with myself even. And when I ask them, what was the last time that you felt pleasure just alone by yourself, they often say, well, I don't know. Or they say, I don't know, like in general in my life, I don't really feel pleasure. Why are we not allowing ourselves to feel pleasure within our daily life? So let's talk about the inner self first. Our whole system is made to give you pleasure. The reason why we are feeling these uncomfortable feelings is that these uncomfortable feelings remind you of, hey, this doesn't feel good, make a change, you want to be happy. So to understand that the feeling of shame is a certain reminder, a positive reminder actually, that you can change this to feel better. You can change this to have a better self-worth. If you do this, this memory will not pop up again. So our inner system is super important to listen to. And as you heard before, I'm focused on psychosomatics, and psychosomatic means that what I'm thinking transforms into our body and our body reacts on it on a certain way. So psychosomatics is a super important topic to touch when we are talking about your inner system, because a lot of people who experience uncomfortable feelings like traumata, anxiety, panic attacks, all of these like uncomfortable things, often lose the idea of how psychosomatics can also bring you into a certain better stage while you're feeling fear, anxiety, and all of these things. I know it's a super huge topic and we can't touch every detail from now, but I just want to give you a short overview. In moments where you feel insecure, in moments where you feel this like memory comes up, this idea of, oh, I feel anxious, or oh, I feel something makes me feel uncomfortable. I fear that I'm going into distance with my partner or my like playmate or whoever it is close to you. By the time that you feel it, understand your body first, because we don't need to find solutions all the time. Like, let's really keep this idea in the closet, because it's not about that in these moments. We don't need to understand the original point of view why you are feeling in this certain way. This will not help us. In this certain moment, you maybe feel insecure, you maybe feel ashamed, and you don't know why. And that is fine. you don't need to find an answer. Understand your psychosomatic reaction first. So how to do this? Because it's a workshop, so I need to show you how to do it, right? So by the time you feel insecure or ashamed, try to visualize and understand your body first. Small example, because I'm doing this right now, so of course I'm also nervous. So if I'm feeling into my body, I can feel, first of all, that I'm breathing here. Because of course, guys, I want to give you the best experience right here. Huh? So I'm also a little bit nervous. But I also know that if I'm breathing a little bit slower, and if I'm taking my time, probably I can talk more at ease and I can breathe better. So my psychosomatic reaction to this certain situation where I'm in with you right now can be that I'm breathing very fast and high, but if I'm listening to my body and if I'm feeling, but I can breathe, but I can stop for a second, and I can handle a situation, then you're actually winning this first step. So then, if I'm understanding that I'm nervous or if I'm understanding that I'm ashamed, then I can feel, where does shame sit? And maybe I feel my shame sits here or here. So what am I doing with my body right now? Maybe I'm pushing my shoulders up. Maybe I'm going into a position where I'm not facing a person anymore. Maybe I'm making myself little. And that is okay, because this is the first idea that your body gives you to feel safe. And to make yourself little or to breathe fast is like, all of these ideas of your body are to keep you safe. The thing is that our emotions and our feelings are living in our head and in our fantasies. And yeah, fantasy is not always easy, unicorn, like nice, like blue skies and everything. Fantasy also has this darker sides. And that doesn't mean that darker sides are bad. That doesn't mean that darker sides have to be bad, but they can be really bad and they can be traumatic. But by the time we understand, hey, this is something that is not bringing me anywhere right now. If I'm believing into all of these like shadow sides, darker sides that are happening, then maybe I will just stay here and be in my fantasy and living, and I'm going to live in this idea of anxiety, and I'm going to live in this idea of I can't rescue myself. I need to hide. I need to run away. Then I give these uncomfortable feelings, and then I'm giving these uncomfortable moments more and more room. And the thing is, our feelings and our fantasies are kind of endless, right? The spectrum of our fantasies is so huge that they will not stop if we allow them to be there. So it's tricky, right? Like, first of all, it's a good idea of our brain to say, hey, I want you to be safe. I want you to be comfortable. I want you to feel good. But at the same time, our brain also says, all right, what can we do? Like, what is the biggest spectrum of fear and uncomfortable feelings that we can get? So let's think big. Isn't that crazy? Like, on one hand, we probably know that in this certain moment with my partner or with my lover or whatever, we know this person, right? We trust this person. I know who this person is, but my brain, who wants to keep me safe, tells me all of these fantasies and tells me all of these ideas, and they will not bring me anywhere. The positive effect of fantasy is that when we are sexually relieved from all of these ideas, from all of these like bad shadows that we are carrying around us, those fantasies can also bring us in completely new dimensions. And now I'm really talking about like great things that we can do with our fantasies. We like, or the brain likes, to give us this huge spectrum of what we could possibly get out of a moment, right? It can be negative, but it can also be very positive. So maybe you have this like idea, this fantasy that in a certain moment where you feel scared or that you feel ashamed or you just don't know what to do with your body and with your partner, you would like to be covered by the weight of your partner or by weight, or you would be like to get covered by touch. And that is something that's possible. So this fantasy could also help you to get a new survival mode and to get a new perspective on those challenging moments. Because if you understand, I'm nervous, I'm feeling scared, I'm feeling little, but you can understand yourself. I'm nervous, I understand my body is reacting in a certain way. Then you can maybe use this effect to tell your partner, I need you to cuddle me. I need you to take a blanket and wrap it around me so that I feel this pressure on me. Or I need you to stand up with me and, I don't know, like shake it out. A friend of mine is actually doing this technique before she's going intimate with her partner. They shake it out. So they just like stand up and shake it all out, like the whole energy of the day till they are both ready to invite both into this new scenario of intimacy and, yeah, to have another experience together outside of this stressful daily life that we are living in. So the inner system, right? So now that we touched the inner system a little bit better, and now that we understood also that we can touch ourselves carefully and take care of ourselves a little bit more, we understand that we have the value in ourselves to be the hero that we sometimes wish to have in those uncomfortable moments. So that's something that I would like to give you to think about. We often feel that somebody should come and do something for us to feel comfortable again, to feel safe again. And of course, partners can help us. Therapists can help us a lot to, yeah, receive this other knowledge and perspective on ourselves. But the hero is always in you. You are the expert of your body. And even though that it maybe means that you are first an expert of all of these shadows, those shadows teach you where the certain spots are for growth. So help yourself first to understand you're a goddess, you're a god, you are an expert, you are a hero, and you have all of these powers within you to make a change. You have this worth, and you are not alone. There are always people who can possibly help you. And there are always things that we can also do to, yeah, make us feel a little bit more released and lose expectations. So the outer world and the outer system are the things that we are doing or using for our inner system. And that can be that we use sex toys, for example. Sex toys are a way to, put the pressure a little bit away for our partner or for myself. And I can just say, hey, let's learn to play with a toy. Because, like if we think back to school, childhood, to this time where first in kindergarten we could play, and then there was school and we had to be in our minds, and we had to work. This certain type of living your daily life that we are in our heads and that we are always like running for this system, we have to give away to have a pleasurable time and to play. So we have to learn how to play first before we are actually using a toy. And that's the actually mystery that I'm still trying to understand about this whole sex tech industry, because why don't we give a little bit more room for this certain stage of understanding that the customer, that the people who are privately at home using toys need a new way to learn how to play. And this is actually where my work is getting very practical, because this playful part is not only, like putting a toy in the middle of the bed and saying, oh, that looks funny. We have to go into our unconsciousness and let this like playful inner creative side of us out to be a little bit crazy, but still feel into our boundaries and still feel into our possibilities in this moment. So what I want to give you as a good example for a playful scenario is, if you are within an intimate moment with your partner or even alone, check into yourself first. What do I expect from this certain experience with a toy? How can I use this toy maybe to receive another pleasure or another type of pleasure on my skin? How can I use this time for myself? And the first thing is, it's self-care, right? If I'm giving myself pleasure, it should be self-care. So don't do anything for anybody if it's not also your pleasure, right? So this is also a reminder for consent, everybody. All right. So check into yourself and then understand your body first. How am I feeling? Do I feel stressed at the moment? Do I need to do anything before I'm starting to use this toy? What do I need to say to my partner before we are starting to play? And also, is it okay to be nervous or to be a little bit anxious before you are going into this play scenario? Yes, it is. And it's also okay to not feel super erected right away. You can take time to look at a toy, to experience the toy, and just, get comfy with the situation. Take your time with the toy to feel into the room. Maybe change something about the room. Change the pillows. Change whatever it is. Maybe even change your partner if that sex toy doesn't work with your partner and if your partner doesn't feel right. Feel into yourself, understand your body, and understand what you really need. And then the hardest part comes: sexual communication. And guys, this is a topic I could talk for like 4 hours, honestly. Sexual communication is to show what you want, also checking into your whole system and understanding what you can give and what you can receive for today. And I'm going to play a little bit with this idea of sexual communication later with Kokeshi. But for now, I just want to invite you to think about, how can you use your communication to transport your needs to your partner, but also to yourself. So before you have this like huge box of sex toys, try to feel into yourself and understand what you expect from yourself. And also understand that some experience that you maybe had needs some therapy before you can have this like unleashed wild sexual life you are dreaming of, and you can have it, right? You're not alone. And you still have so many options for your growth, and you have all of these options to heal. But the healing process is for everybody out there. And this is what I want to point at again. You're not alone. We all experience this, perspective of not knowing what to do sexually. We are having these ideas and we are having these fantasies about touch and intimacy, but that is maybe not everything. We have to re-understand what we learned, and we have to re-understand what we can change. And I really want to invite you to do this, and I really want to invite you to, be aware that we have to learn from each other. And if communication is so difficult for us, then also say that to your partner. I actually don't know how to tell you what I want. I actually don't know what feels good on my body. And maybe your partner can ask like smart questions like, How would your best kiss be? What can I do to give you a really nice touch? Or maybe even if you are really getting intimate, like go into this like student role and really play the part that doesn't know anything and that wants to explore and learn and understand from the body that and not just the body, the whole system, the whole person that wants to be touched or that wants to learn, that wants to receive. So this is the beauty that we are facing if we are putting all of these ideas and expectations down. We can be students and we can learn and we can heal. And it can be so easy to do that if you are just brave enough to say, I don't know what I want, but I want to explore it with you. And trust can grow during these like little tiny steps of where a person is just coming close to you after you said, yeah, I would like to experience a kiss on my neck and I want to experience it in a very slow way from you. And then you do it or your partner does it and you feel like, yeah, actually, it feels good. And also my partner is giving me what I asked for. And if your partner is smart enough to understand that what you are saying is what you want and not more, then you can really receive these amazing sexual experiences. And again, if you are facing any deeper, uncomfortable feelings or memories, you're not alone. And if you need help, there are people like me who can help, and we are there. Also, during this crisis, so many things are digital. So you can have it if you want it. And I really believe in you. So I'm very thankful that we had this experience together. And I hope that you could get some good informations out of it. And now, like little information at least, do you hear that I'm speaking better now, that I can breathe more easy? You see, it helped me as well. So you can do it too. So have loads of fun with the next session, and I'm going to see you in a little bit.